You are the CIO. Your job is to empower, to blaze trails in tech, to keep the world connected, faster, using massive amounts of data to make it smarter, more productive, more adaptable, more secure. This is no simple task, unless of course you've implemented Salesforce. With Salesforce, you have a trusted, compliance built-in, low-code, no-code platform, making it easy for anyone to create intelligent apps, lightning fast. Anyone. It's also the most comprehensive platform, from drag and drop to custom coding, giving dev teams time to handle the exponentially more complex projects. All while other departments reap the benefits through a single connected CRM accessed on any device. So teams like sales, service, marketing, and analytics are smarter and more predictive about the customer, who also, and most importantly, happens to benefit from all this with one-to-one experiences tailored to them. Plus, thousands of components and partner apps are seamlessly integrated, so you're covered from all angles. And it's mobile first, meaning you can run your entire business from your phone, wherever you are, on whichever trail you decide to blaze next. Empower everyone to be their best with Salesforce.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? You guys enjoying this amazing event? Yeah? Well, I got to tell you, I am thrilled to be back in Boston. I actually spent 2 very formative years of my life here in grad school, and even though it's been 15 years, I still carry around a 617 cell phone number. I am never giving that up. So we are here today to talk about the Salesforce platform. My name is Seema Kumar. I'm a VP on our platform team. And what I think is going to be really exciting about this talk is I'm going to tell you how you can get more from Salesforce using what you already have. Can I see a show of hands if you're a Salesforce customer today? Yes, okay, so you guys are in the right place because I'm going to tell you how you can do more with what you already have because all of you already have the Salesforce platform. Now, we're going to talk about things that are coming in the future. We're going to talk about what's coming for you, what's coming for your customers, what's coming in the world of technology, and we're going to talk about what's coming in the future of Salesforce. And so with any good Salesforce presentation, I have to show you our forward-looking statement slide. So we are going to talk about some future products, and so I just ask that any purchase decisions be made based on products that are available today. So with that, let's get started. I think we all know how much modern apps are transforming our lives at work and our lives at home, right? So you can go to a restaurant and you can use a loyalty app so that every 10th item you get at Red Robin is free. When I'm traveling, I can adjust the temperature of my home. Even when I'm in Boston, I can adjust the temperature in my home using this mobile app from Emerson. And when I'm driving my car, GM can tell me, because I don't get to Boston that often, hey, there's a Dunkin' Donuts right over here if you want to pull off and get your Dunkin' Donuts coffee, since you don't get to do it that often. So we all know that these apps are transforming the way that we work and the way that we live. And all of you as IT leaders are trying to figure out how to transform your companies because you know that your customers have these expectations that have changed. Right? You know, I expect that when I walk into an Adidas store, that they know who I am, Seema Kumar, across every channel, whether it's online, a mobile app, or their retail store. Right? And when I am using my Fitbit, I expect information that tells me how I'm doing across all the different ways that I can interact with my device. Right? And so expectations that customers have of you have changed tremendously, and it's really hard for you to figure out how to do that, how to meet those customer needs. And so all of us are on this journey together into a digital transformation, and we talk about digital transformation like it's just this one step, right? You're here, you're in the analog world, and then you come over here and you're digital, and in reality, that's not really how it works. Right? And I love this example here of this thermostat because I think it makes it so clear. You think back to these devices that we had where we could adjust the temperature in our homes, and it was a mechanical device. And then we changed to a digital device. Well, that's not digital transformation completely, but we're getting there, right? And then that device became connected to a server, and that was yet another step closer. And then finally, what we all really want to get to is this truly connected experience, and that is digital transformation. where I can use a mobile app to adjust the temperature of my home even when I'm not home, right? And the company that owns that device can see what I'm doing and can respond to any issues or challenges that I have. That's digital transformation. But this is really tough for us to deliver because of something I like to call the geology of IT. So what's up on top is all that stuff that our business stakeholders, our counterparts in the business want us to do, right? They want guided sales and they want assisted service. But to do that, you have to deliver all this stuff that's under the surface that maybe your stakeholders in the business don't know about, right? So you've got to think about taking all that data from these different systems, external systems, internal systems, siloed systems, and connect them. You have to give everyone in your company and all of your customers a single identity with which to log in and a secure identity. You have to think about delivering a great user experience so that people actually want to use your products and they can use them easily. You have to have the right developers in your organization and have people with the right skill set in your organization. And that's probably the most challenging thing that as IT leaders, all of you are struggling with. And I could spend time talking through every single one of these, but there is a lot of stuff that we have to do to deliver these connected experiences. So why is this hard? Well, it's hard because your customers are using one set of technologies and your employees are using another set of technologies. And all of this stuff is disconnected. And so you're spending time trying to connect all of these different systems, these systems of engagement, these different databases, and that's not hard. It's not easy. And in fact, what we hear when we talk to folks like Gartner is that this stuff is so hard, it takes so long, that there is what they call a 5-to-1 app gap for IT organizations. There are 5 times the number of applications that you're being asked to deliver than you actually can deliver, given the budget, the tools, the skills, and the resources that you have today. And I'm seeing some nodding heads over here, so you guys feel this pain, I can see that. So how do we help you deliver? How can Salesforce help you deliver against these outsized expectations with Salesforce App Cloud? Now, the good news is Salesforce App Cloud is something that all of you already have today. The App Cloud is basically the platform, the #1 enterprise app dev platform that sits beneath Sales Cloud and Service Cloud and everything that you already have from Salesforce. And with this platform, your folks in your organization can build apps with clicks or code. So you don't have to have professional developers. Your business analysts can even build these applications. And you can build smart applications that scale without having to install and rack and stack new servers and networking technology. And you can extend what you're doing with our partners in our ecosystem. We have over 3,000 applications in the App Exchange that you can just install with one click. And so with App Cloud, our customers are able to go 5 times faster and write half the code to deliver those experiences. So now I'm going to walk through every one of the icons on this slide and tell you what's in the platform. Okay, good. Some of us got that was a joke. That would take us a very long time. You guys can read that tonight if you need some bedtime reading. The Salesforce platform has everything that you need to build smart, intelligent apps for your customers. And we're going to walk through some of this as we go throughout this presentation. But one thing that's really important that I want you to know is that our platform has now gotten smarter with Einstein. Last year at Dreamforce, we introduced Salesforce Einstein. And Einstein is new technology where we're building intelligence and data model and predictions and machine learning right into the Salesforce platform. We've gone out and hired some of the best data scientists from the best universities across the world. And what we're asking them to do is help all of you bring machine learning and artificial intelligence right into Salesforce. And so our data scientists are helping you figure out what's happening in my business with my customers. What's going to happen next? And what should I do as a result of this? Now, you might be thinking, okay, but do I need data scientists in my company to actually be able to use this? No, you don't. Because we're building this into the platform so that every trailblazer, whether they be developers or business analysts, can use intelligence right in the Salesforce platform. And so today, we're going to talk about how the platform lets you do 3 things. The Salesforce platform lets you build faster. In fact, IDC did a study where they found that our customers can build apps 50% faster. We're going to talk to you about how you can build more trusted apps that are more secure, because we know that security and trust is on everyone's mind today. And then finally, we're going to talk about how we help you build together with an ecosystem Because let's face it, we're talking about some hard problems, and nobody wants to go it alone. You want to know that you've got a whole bunch of partners that are going to be right by your side, helping you be successful. So let's talk about how we help you build faster. The Salesforce platform is the fastest path to app. We're helping you make every single employee more productive and more successful by building the apps that they need to do their jobs. Whether it's apps to help with onboarding or recruiting or expense management, you can build those apps right on the Salesforce platform. We have a whole bunch of apps that just come right out of the box with Salesforce, like our award-winning Sales Cloud and Service Cloud and Marketing Cloud and Analytics. And again, these come right out of the box. And finally, we have partner apps from our ecosystem of over 3,000 partners that you can install with one click. Now, how is it that we help you go faster? Well, we're turning the way that people do IT upside down. You see, in the legacy world, you spend all of your time managing your infrastructure and racking and stacking services and maintaining that stuff and installing upgrades to software. We don't want to have you do that anymore. We're going to take care of all of that for you in the platform so that you can focus on your business, so that you can focus on the specific, unique apps that you need to make your business successful. And we're letting people with all different skills build apps on Salesforce. So you don't have to be a professional developer who has a degree in computer science. You don't have to be a Ruby on Rails expert or a Python expert. With Salesforce, you can build apps with no code with our new Lightning UI and interface, or you can build apps with code in any language you want using Heroku. So how do we do that? Well, with Salesforce Lightning, you can customize Salesforce to work the way you want. So with point-and-click tools, you can customize your page layouts to be exactly the way that you need them to be. You can extend them and add different components and metadata into them. And even with all of that customization and flexibility, we have a high level of governance so that you can make sure that the right people are using the right apps with the right data. With Heroku, which was on the other side of that slide I just showed you, your organization can code in any language they want. Heroku is open. It's scalable. So if you need to build applications that maybe you're in retail or maybe you have a seasonality to your business, you go in and you drag a slider, and right there, you can increase your capacity and your scale. And finally, with Heroku Shield, Heroku is secure. So you need to put PII or PHI in Salesforce, whatever it is, you can do that with Heroku and know that your data is going to be secure. Now, something we're really excited about is Salesforce DX. Salesforce DX is bringing a whole new developer experience to the way that your teams build apps in Salesforce. What we're doing is we're using more source-driven development so that the org is no longer the single source of truth. So you can take all of the information and the metadata and the information about that app, and you can pull it out outside of the app, and it lives in a source file. And you can do version control on it, you can pull it into a new app, and so that single source of truth no longer lives in the application. We're also going to let you stand up Scratch orgs just by entering a few lines of code. And so now you can more rapidly test new things that you're doing with Salesforce in a Scratch org. And finally, and I think this is the most exciting, is that with Salesforce DX now it's open. So we have an entirely new developer environment. You can use Git, you can use Selenium, you can use any tool that you want to use or that your developers want to use. It's completely open. And so that is how we're helping our customers build apps faster, up to 50% faster. And so now we're going to talk about how you can build apps that are trusted and more secure. Trust is our #1 value. Nothing is more important at Salesforce than trust of our customers and the trust of their customers. And we know that trust is built on a foundation of transparency. And that's why you can go to trust.salesforce.com at any moment. And you can see what's going on with every server in every data center in every pod. Because we believe that in order to have a trusted relationship with you, we need to provide that information to you and to your customers. Salesforce is the most trusted enterprise cloud platform there is. There's a whole bunch of things we can tell you about how we're managing that, but the one that I think is most compelling is that we know that every time we upgrade our software 3 times a year, we need to make sure that all of the apps you've built, all the customizations you've done, need to work flawlessly. So how do we do that? we've written our own tests. You see, every time we upgrade our software, which is 3 times a year, we run over 108 million tests ourselves before we roll that out to make sure that everything that you have done on Salesforce works flawlessly. No other cloud vendor does that. And when you buy Salesforce, we have trust built in at every layer. It starts with our infrastructure in our secure data centers, and it goes into the network where we just provide encryption of all the data in transit through HTTPS. And then it goes to the application layer, where we just provide two-factor and identity because we believe that these are things every single customer should have. But we didn't stop there. You see, as we grew, we started to work with customers in regulated industries. Folks that were in financial services, like our customer who's going to be joining us today, and customers that were in healthcare. And some of those customers said, you know what? We need to be able to put PII and PHI into Salesforce. And so a couple of years ago, we introduced something new called Salesforce Shield. And Salesforce Shield gives you the control and the compliance and the governance that you need to put sensitive data in the cloud and have complete control over that data. And now we have over 5 billion encrypted transactions being run on Salesforce on your data every single month. And we didn't stop there because we know that there is no finish line when it comes to security. And so we've also rolled out Salesforce Identity because we want to give your employees and your customers secure access to all their apps that is also friction-free. And so now with our SSO and our two-factor authentication, you can make sure that the right people are logging in and accessing the right data. And because we want to make it friction-free, all they have to do is tap a button on their iPhone, their Android phone, or even their Apple Watch, and they're authenticated to use your Salesforce org in just one tap. Now, I'd like to invite a colleague of mine up to tell you a little bit more about one of our customers who is building apps fast and securely on Salesforce, and that's my friend and colleague, Jenny Nunez.
Thank you, Seema.
Thanks, Jenny.
All right. Eli Lilly, one of our amazing trailblazer customers. They're one of the leading global pharmaceutical companies, and they're transforming their entire industry with applications. Not only that, but they're also transforming their entire patient experience. And there's no really great way to share this story with you than to hear from our customers themselves. Let's roll the film.
140 years ago, this company was started by Colonel Eli Lilly, a man who had great conviction to bring medicines in a different way to meet healthcare needs in the communities, where there was a person who you could count on and trust. One of the things that we've continued to do throughout our time as a company is think about who the customer is and what they really need from us. The kind of partners that we need who are going to help us advance that are people who have the same passion about the customer.
Innovation is very important. It's one of the key pillars of what we focus on in IT here at Lilly.
It's about your product, it's about your science, but at the end of the day, if we don't meet the needs of the customer, then all the other stuff is irrelevant.
So the first thing we always have to do is say, what is that journey that patient's on? If we're going to create a great customer experience, we need to meet them where they want to meet us, how they want to meet us. And if we don't, we're going to be left behind.
Salesforce is linking us to an innovation platform that we can use to advance what we're doing and make life better for our patients.
We are developing apps that allow a customer to interact with our support program.
We can have a developer sitting alongside an end user, creating technology that they need in real time. So items that used to take 6 months or sometimes even a year are now being delivered within days.
We often talk about, is it quality or speed? No, it's both. Is it cost or timeline? It's both. Salesforce is enabling that to happen.
Having somebody in the room that is seeing this sort of digital development across industries and challenging our thinking is incredibly valuable.
With Salesforce, we can understand what are some of the most flexible, reliable, and secure platforms that we can use to really bring this kind of information together.
One of the great advantages that we have with the Salesforce platform is that we've been able to engage in a one-to-one customer journey where we can then tailor those services in order to produce the experience we're going after.
The capabilities we're developing on the platform are giving us data that would allow us then to be much more predictive and meet those customers at a point of need.
That's the critical piece for us, is that connected experience, that delight that you can produce for a customer is where Salesforce helps us.
We need someone to help us see where the world might be going so that we can be there when our patient shows up.
Isn't that an amazing story? What really blows my mind is that every customer that we've heard stories from use our platform in unique ways. Our platform is used for a variety of things, whether it's applications that you can build for your departments, or connective apps that connect to either devices or that connect you better to your customers. Today, you're in luck. We have an app that we're going to show you that Eli Lilly built using our Salesforce platform. So let's go ahead and bring up that application. All right, so for those of you that don't know what Taltz is a medication used to fight against psoriasis. So today, we're actually going to play Elsa, who's a patient taking Taltz. And Elsa can simply click into this application and log in with just a few clicks. Now, the first thing that she sees is she meets Claudia, her care manager, who'll be with her throughout her entire wellness journey. Also, what's great about this application, and because it's built on the Salesforce platform, is that it's very secure and trusted. So she can share her information right from her mobile device with Claudia and her physician. She can also do a variety of other things in her applications. She can submit a daily wellness score. She can also review all her assessments from the weeks that have passed. She can view her and track her injections. She can also view articles about her symptoms and her different effects of her disease. Now, today, she's not feeling very well. So she's going to give herself a rating of a 4 out of 10. Now, what's great about this is that she can instantly tell Claudia, her care manager, how she's feeling. But right now on the back end, Claudia can't see this information. So today we're going to have to go ahead and do 3 things. The first thing that we have to do is we have to get this data from this application back into Salesforce. The second thing we need to do is automate a business process that alerts Claudia whenever a patient like Elsa isn't feeling very well. And the third thing that we're going to do is we're going to build an application that allows Claudia to move faster with all of her patients, including Elsa. So let's get started. So Heroku is the platform that we built this application on. This application here that you see is Heroku Connect, which is one of its add-on services that allows you to bidirectionally sync data from the application back into Salesforce. And creating a new sync is as easy as creating a new mapping. So you can see here that it just takes a few clicks without any code whatsoever to create this mapping. And we would definitely want to bring in the wellness score object, which is what we just saw on the other application. And we want to make sure we identify the fields that we want to bring with it. And then we're going to click Save. All right, and it was as easy as that to sync the data from the application into Salesforce. But what's even exciting is what we see inside Salesforce. So let's bring up Salesforce and go into Schema Builder. So we'll search for Schema Builder. And for those of you that haven't seen this, this is Setup, which gives you all the tools you need to build out your applications. So how many of you have used Schema Builder before or heard of Schema Builder? Great, majority of you. For those of you that haven't, Schema Builder is our point-and-click development tool for building data models. So here you can actually see all the current custom objects that we have available for this particular application. We also can see our new one that we just created right here inside Schema Builder, our wellness score. And that's it. That's how you get data from an application back into Salesforce. So let's move on to step 2, which was automating a business process that alerts Claudia whenever she needs to be notified that a patient isn't feeling well. And the way that we're going to do this is with Lightning Process Builder. How many of you have used Lightning Process Builder? Great, we've got an advanced audience. For those of you that haven't, Process Builder is our point-and-click tool that allows you to automate business processes. Every process inside Process Builder consists of a custom object that it's tied to. It consists of criteria, which are the rules and regulations, and then it also consists of actions, what happens when the rules are triggered. Here we can see that the process simply states that from a score of a 6 to 10 that a patient gives, Claudia is notified via chatter. Then, if a patient is lower than a 5, Claudia also gets notified via chatter. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that this is a very high priority task for her to immediately follow up with the ones who aren't feeling very well. So we're going to go ahead and create that right now, and we're going to switch it from normal to high. So immediately she's notified that she needs to follow up with these patients before they get off track. And that's it. We'll just activate it, and our process will be in play. So let me recap kind of what you've seen already. You've seen how we bring data from the application back into Salesforce, and you've seen how to automate a business process with Lightning Process Builder. And now the final step that you're going to get to see is how you build an application using what we like to call Lightning App Builder. So how many of you have used Lightning App Builder? Few, all right. We've got a lot of coders maybe in the room. So Lightning App Builder is our point-and-click development tool that allows you to build applications with just a few clicks. So here you can see it's really easy to start building an application. We're going to call this one the Patient Wellness Application. And then we're going to click a template. I think we're going to click the 2 columns. And then we're going to click Finish. So for those of you that are new, which it looked like there was a lot of hands that were down, inside Lightning App Builder, you create applications using components, which are reusable building blocks that allow you to create all the components that all the applications that you can possibly think of. On the left-hand side, you can see the list that we're scrolling through currently. At the top, we have our standard components that come out of the box with Salesforce. We have our custom managed components that come from the Eli Lilly developers or your developers can build. And then we also have the managed components at the bottom that are from the App Exchange that you can install at any time, anywhere. So in the middle is what you see is the application. So you'll see that come into effect in a few minutes. And then on the right-hand side, you can actually see all the data and make that available inside the application. So dragging and dropping and building an app is really quite simple. For Claudia specifically, we want to make sure she has a list of patients, right? Because that's ideal for her to log into the desktop and see that. So you can see when we drag and drop a component that it instantly appears. And on the right-hand side, you can see all the data, all the objects available to you. We're going to go ahead and click on Patient because we want the list of patients to pop up. And you can see automatically that it'll appear. There we go. The next thing that we're going to drag and drop in is a detail list view. And this is going to tell us more about the patients and all their personal information. The one after that we're going to drag and drop in is a report chart. We want to make sure we see our wellness scores that we had in or that we brought in from the application earlier. And then last but not least, we want to go ahead and drag and drop in the activity feed component. And this component is actually a very special component. The activity feed component actually has what we like to call Einstein. How many of you have heard about Einstein? I would hope all of you would raise your hand because Seema just went over it. But Einstein is our new AI service layer that allows you to build in artificial intelligence inside your applications. So we're going to go ahead and enable him here. And what he's going to do for Claudia is he's actually going to provide her with intelligent recommendations on how to better assist her patients. So once we do that, there's only a few more steps that we need to do in order to make this app live. We're going to save and activate. And then one of the most important things, we have to pick out a lovely icon. It's one of my favorite things to do. There's lots of colors. And then we need to make sure that it's involved in the Lightning experience. So we're going to go ahead and add it to the page, which is going to give her that lovely desktop view. And then we're going to add it to the Salesforce One mobile app. We're going to make sure we scroll it all the way to the top because we want to make it easy to find. And then we're going to click Save. And that's it. You just built your application. Now, what's really great about Salesforce is that you only have to deploy once, and it's instantly mobile across any device. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like on Claudia's mobile phone. Here we can see when we refresh, our app has appeared. We can dive in. we can see it's the same components that we had in Lightning App Builder. We've got our wellness report, etc. Now, Claudia doesn't always travel on the road. Most of the time, she's at her desk. So let's go ahead and switch over to the desktop and see what the app looks like there. So here, we can click into the Patient Wellness app, and we can see that it's the same components that we saw on the phone that we put in Lightning App Builder. And as you click on a specific record, like Elsa, she can see all the information and how all the components change in real time. This is because of our inventing system that's backing up these components. Now, it looks like we just got a notification in the right-hand corner that tells us that Elsa's not feeling well. And if you look down on the right-hand side in the activity feed, we actually have our high priority that we created in Process Builder earlier. And look, even Einstein has something to say. Einstein's saying that based on Elsa's patient data, that she's likely to deviate from her wellness plan. And this, for a care manager, is absolutely horrible. So we want to go ahead and look at the forecast and see if it gets any better. And unfortunately, it doesn't. It looks like she's actually trending down, maybe up a little bit, and then definitely down. So we need to get on this. Einstein realizes that he's helped patients like this before, and he knows that the symptom management article is really helpful. So on behalf of Claudia, before Claudia even has to lift a finger, he sends Elsa a text message referring her to this symptom article. So let's go over to Elsa's phone and see that article come in. So here's Elsa's phone. We can see the article come in. She definitely wants to read it now. And she can read how she can better manage her symptoms and her disease. So a week passes by. Elsa's feeling so much better. So she gives herself a 9 out of 10. And this is the power of the Salesforce platform and how Eli Lilly is not only transforming their entire industry, but they're transforming their entire patient experience with applications on our platform. Back to you, Seema.
Awesome. Can we get a hand for Jenny and for Tim, please? Thank you, Jenny. I love that demo and that story because Eli Lilly is a 140-year-old company, and they're building apps to transform how they connect with their customers. And you want to talk about doing it fast? Well, on average, Eli Lilly can turn out a new app in 7 weeks. How many of us can say that? So now we're going to bring it home. We're going to talk about how Salesforce helps you build together with an entire ecosystem of partners behind you. With Salesforce, when you're developing apps, when you're automating things in your business, you are never alone. We have an entire community of people, over 2.3 million members. Some of you are probably in that community. We have a developer community of over 3 million registered developers, many more. We have almost 200 user groups around the world. So there is an entire ecosystem of people that are here to help you. And if you are just getting started with the platform, we have something new called Trailhead. Trailhead is a new, fun, and online way to learn Salesforce. So you're not dealing with user manuals, you're not sitting in week-long classes with instructors, but there's actually a really fun, engaging way to learn how to use Salesforce, and you can learn the basics. You can learn how to use Lightning, you can learn how to integrate. And finally, we have the App Exchange, where we have all of our systems integrators and our ISV partners. We've got over 3,000 apps, over 300 Lightning components. And we're really excited because we just celebrated the 10th anniversary of our App Exchange. Now, I want to tell you, instead of telling you about this, I'd like to bring a customer of ours up to tell you about their experience with Salesforce. And so I'd like to welcome Jim Slocum, CIO of One United Bank, to join me.
Hi, thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks so much for being here. So just take a moment and tell us who One United Bank is.
Sure. One United Bank, we're America's largest Black-owned bank. We're the leaders of the Bank Black movement. We focus on improving urban communities around the country by fostering conversations around financial literacy and economic empowerment.
And your journey started with Salesforce many years ago, not with our platform, but with the Service Cloud. Tell us about that.
Sure. So we've been a customer since 2006. So it's a long time, and we started actually with Service Cloud. We used Service Cloud to support what was then the launch of our internet branch. So we were taking inbound cases and emails from customers all over the country, as well as we had integrated it with our core banking system to pull the customer profile in and pop it on the screen when a customer called into our call center.
And so you then, somewhere along the way, decided to introduce a new product, a Unity Visa card. And I think a lot of people in this room would be surprised to hear that you can actually launch a credit card with Salesforce. So how did you do that?
Sure. So let's see. I think it all started a couple years back. My AE came in. He was fresh out of training out at San Francisco, and all full of Salesforce excitement. And he was there asking me what it was that I was using Salesforce for, and what could I do to get more out of it. And he asked me kind of, smartly, what's your biggest strategic initiative this year? And I told him about our Unity Visa secured card program that we were building to help our customers rebuild their credit, because we felt that they had been uniquely impacted in the financial downturn. And he walked out of that meeting as a guy, who thought he had, won the prize. He went off and he got me a partner who came in a week later, gave me a presentation, and told me all about how I could build that on the platform. 90 days later, we rolled out an application process that we could not find in the industry. They had told us it would take 6 months, and we did it in 90 days with the help of this partner. It was amazing.
50% faster, just like the slide said. I love it. I talk with a lot of folks who are Salesforce admins or they're managers of IT, and they say to me, Seema, I get it. I get what Salesforce and the platform can do for our business, but I just don't know how to get my executive team bought in. So when did that happen at One United Bank? How did you get the executive team bought in?
Yeah, so there was definitely some question marks about using this company called Salesforce to help us with this new line of business, our secured card. And I can remember the day that it actually clicked for our senior managers. My president of the bank was on her way out of town, and we had built this fancy dashboard to have our finger on the pulse of what was happening with the application process and how our customers were experiencing it. And she took off with her iPad on an overseas trip and came back about a week later and basically asked the team how things were going, and they all reported how great it was going. Obviously, that's what you say when your boss comes back and you've been in charge of an important program. Well, she looked at us and she said, no, it's not. You're declining too many applications. There's something wrong with the process. So lo and behold, she had dug into the data while she was gone on the Salesforce One app and was able to come back with insights about what was happening. That changed the way that we looked at Salesforce as a platform, and it changed the way that we were going to move forward with our business.
I can totally see that. Now, with the Bank Black movement that's happening, you're working on some new things. Tell me about what that is.
Yeah, so last summer, there was a grassroots initiative to focus on circulating dollars within the Black community. And one of the primary paths that the customers chose to go forward with was banking Black. And we actually saw an exponential growth in our customer base last summer. Just before it had happened, we had moved some data into Salesforce to manage our deposit application process. Well, the success of managing that exponential growth on Salesforce encouraged us to move the entire application process over to Salesforce. So last winter, we went through a project to execute on delivering our online application the same way that we had built our secured card. By my estimates, that project probably will see an ROI in about 3 months because we were able to eliminate all of the expenses from the third-party application processing partner we had and consolidated it onto Salesforce, onto something we already had.
That's amazing. So one final question. So you've been with Salesforce since 2006. You have built dozens of applications on Salesforce. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I think that the deposit app that we just launched was pretty amazing. But I think that one of the things that I really like the most about Salesforce is the fact that I really feel like we've been able to put our finger on the pulse of our customers' experience. My team is constantly developing new apps, simple things like survey wizards that integrate into the online account opening process or an account opening process in the branch. We really do get to tie the experience that our customers have with individual employees of our company. And my team is building all those things right within the platform on Lightning Process Builder and a nominal amount of code.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jim. Really appreciate you being here and sharing your experience with everybody. So we've talked about So we talked about how with the Salesforce platform, you can build apps 50% faster. You can build apps that are trusted and secure. And you have an entire ecosystem that is here to support you. And so I want to invite you to actually dig in and see more of this and get hands-on. So in the expo, we have the IT Ranger Station where you can actually do a workshop and you can build an app yourself in 20 minutes. That's right, not an hour, but 20 minutes. You can see some demos. You can meet some of our experts. We also have an IT lodge up on the 3rd floor where you can learn more. And so with that, I want to thank you so much for giving us 40 minutes of your time and spending the afternoon with us. I hope you have a wonderful day here at the Salesforce World Tour Boston. Thank you.